You ever meet someone, and you just know their age doesn't match what you're seeing? Like, they say, "I'm 35," and your brain just goes, "Nah, impossible." Or maybe, that someone is you. People keep telling you, "Wait, how old are you again? You don't age. What's your secret?" And you laugh it off. Maybe you say, "Oh, it's just genetics," or "I drink water," but deep down, you feel like it's something else. And here's the truth. No one really says out loud. Some people don't just look younger. They are younger, in a way that time can't touch. And today, we're going to talk about why. Not surface-level stuff, not skincare routines. We're going deeper. This idea actually connects a lot to the work of Carl Jung, who believed that how you age isn't just physical, it's psychological, it's emotional, it's spiritual. So today, we're breaking down 5 real reasons you look younger than your age. And trust me, some of these might hit very close to home. And I want you to do something while watching this. Don't just listen. Ask yourself, is this me? 1. You didn't let life harden you. Okay, let's start here. Some people go through life, and slowly, they become hard. Not strong, hard. You can see it in their face, in their energy, in how they react to small things. Life hits them, and instead of processing it, they close, they build walls, they become serious, all the time. But you went through things too. You went through things too. Don't get it twisted. You've been hurt, disappointed, maybe even broken at some point. But somehow, you didn't let it turn you into stone. You still laugh. You still smile easily. You still find joy in small things. And that right there, that keeps you young. Because bitterness ages people faster than time ever could. You ever notice that? Someone can be 25 and look emotionally 50. Always tired, always irritated, always carrying something heavy, and then someone else, same age, or even older, but they feel light. That's not luck, that's emotional flexibility, and people can feel that from you. That softness, that openness. It shows on your face, in your eyes. That's why you look younger. Real quick, be honest in the comments. Are you someone who stayed soft, or did life make you harder over time? No judgment, just real talk. 2. You're not constantly stressed inside. Now let's talk about something a lot of people ignore. Internal stress. Not the kind where you're busy. I'm talking about that constant mental noise. Overthinking everything. Worrying about everything. Living in what if. Some people are mentally running 24/7. Even when they're sitting still, their mind is exhausted. And guess what? That shows on the face. Tension in the eyes. Tightness in the jaw. That always thinking look. But you might still think a lot. But you've learned something important. Not everything deserves your energy. You don't hold on to things for too long. You let things pass. You don't fight every battle in your head. And that creates something powerful. Calm and calm. Keeps you young. You ever seen someone who just feels peaceful? Not boring. Just grounded. They age differently. Because stress is one of the fastest aging forces there is. And if you've learned how to protect your peace, even a little, that alone makes a difference. 3. Your inner child is still alive. This one is big. And honestly, a little emotional. Some people grow up, and they completely lose their inner child. No curiosity, no playfulness, no wonder. Everything becomes serious, everything becomes logical. But there's still a part of you that laughs at random things, gets excited over small moments, finds beauty in simple things. You can still feel life. And that's rare, because most people, they don't age physically first. They age internally. They stop feeling. They stop being curious. They stop being alive in that childlike way. But when that part of you is still there, it literally shows in your expressions and how your face moves and your energy, that playful spark. It doesn't wrinkle easily. And that's why people look at you and think, how are you still like this? Think about this. You ever met someone older, but they had this joy about them, like they didn't lose themselves, and being around them just felt easy? That's the energy you carry, and people don't always know how to explain it, but they notice it. 4. You don't carry fake energy. Let's be real for a second. Trying to be someone you're not is exhausting, and a lot of people are doing that every day, acting a certain way, hiding who they are, trying to fit into expectations. And over time, that drains you. You can literally see it. That forced smile, that I'm trying too hard energy. But you're more real. You don't perform all the time. You don't pretend as much. You're comfortable being yourself, even if that self isn't perfect. And that authenticity, it's light. It doesn't weigh on you. So your face, your energy, stays relaxed, natural. That's why you don't look worn out by life, because you're not constantly acting. 5. You're still growing, last one. And this might be the deepest. Some people stop growing. Not physically, mentally. They decide, this is who I am. This is how life is. And that's it. No curiosity, no evolution. And something strange happens when that happens. They start to feel older, fast, because growth is connected to vitality. But you're still learning, still questioning things, still evolving. Even if it's quiet, even if no one sees it, you're not done with life. And life responds to that. There's something youthful about someone who is still becoming, still unfolding, still discovering themselves. That energy, it doesn't age easily. So when people say a gupatul, you look younger than your age. Pause for a second, because most people hear that, and they think it's just about appearance, like it's something you can measure. Skin, wrinkles, features. But it's not. Not really. Because, think about it, you've seen people with perfect skin, perfect style, everything right on the outside, and still, they feel tired, heavy, like life is sitting on their shoulders. And then you meet someone else. And there's just something about them, you can't fully explain it. But it's there, that lightness, that calm presence, that quiet kind of energy, that just feels alive. So when someone looks at you and says, you look younger than your age, they're not just looking at your face, they're feeling something deeper. They're feeling your energy. They're feeling your softness, not weakness, softness. The kind that didn't disappear, even after everything you've been through. And that's rare, because a lot of people, they lose that along the way. Life happens. Things don't go as planned. People disappoint them. And slowly, they close off. They harden. They protect themselves so much that they stop feeling freely. But somehow, you stayed open. Maybe not completely. Maybe you still have your walls. But there's still a part of you that didn't shut down. You still feel things deeply. You still care. You still allow yourself to experience moments fully. And that softness, it shows. It shows in your eyes, in your smile, in the way you react to life. And people notice it, even if they don't know how to explain it. They also feel you're calm. And calm is something a lot of people are missing right now. Because the world is loud. Everyone is rushing. Everyone is comparing. Everyone is trying to keep up. And that creates tension. Internal tension. The kind that doesn't always show immediately. But over time, it builds. It sits in the face, in the body, in the way someone carries themselves. But you learned, maybe the hard way, that not everything deserves your energy. You don't chase every thought. You don't react to everything. Sometimes you just let things be. And that calm, it protects you. It gives you space. It keeps you from carrying things that were never yours to begin with. And then there's your curiosity. This one is powerful. Because curiosity is something people lose without realizing it. When they were younger, they asked questions, they explored, they wondered about everything. But over time, they start to think they already know enough. They stop being curious, they stop being open, and life starts to feel repetitive, predictable, a little dull. But you still have that spark. You still look at things and think, that's interesting. Why is that like that? What else is out there? What else is out there? You're still discovering, still learning, still open to new perspectives. And that alone keeps something inside you alive. Because curiosity is energy. It moves you, it expands you. It keeps you from becoming stuck. And people feel that when they're around you. They feel like you're not finished, like there's still more to you, more depth, more layers, more life. And then there's your authenticity. And let's be real here. Being yourself in this world is not always easy. There's pressure everywhere. To act a certain way, to fit into certain boxes, to meet expectations that don't even feel like yours. And a lot of people, they give in to that. They start performing. They wear masks. And at first, it works. But over time, it becomes exhausting. Because pretending takes energy. Constantly thinking, am I doing this right? Do they like me? Am I enough like this? That kind of thinking drains you. It weighs on you. And eventually, it shows. But you stepped away from that. At least in some way. You chose to be more real, more honest, more you. Not perfect, but real. And that authenticity, it's light. It doesn't exhaust you. It doesn't force you to carry something that isn't yours. So your energy stays natural, relaxed. And that's something people are drawn to, even if they don't fully understand why. And finally, your growth. This one might be the quietest, but it's the deepest. Because growth isn't always loud. It's not always visible. Sometimes it's just you. Thinking differently than you used to. Reacting differently than you used to. Choosing peace where you once chose chaos. Walking away from things you once held on to. That's growth. And you're still doing it. You're still evolving. Still becoming. And there's something incredibly youthful about that. Because when someone stops growing, they don't just stay the same. They start to shrink. Their world becomes smaller. Their mindset becomes rigid. Their energy becomes fixed. But you're still expanding, still unfolding. And that keeps you alive in a way that goes beyond age. So yeah, when people say ugh hug, you look younger than your age. They're noticing all of this. Even if they can't put it into words, they're seeing your face. But they're feeling your energy, your softness, your calm, your curiosity, your authenticity, your growth. All the things many people slowly lose, you kept. And maybe that's your real secret. Not something you bought, not something you forced, but something you protected, something you held on to, even when life tried to take it from you. So now I'm really curious. Which one hit you the most? Not the one that sounded nice. The one that felt a little too real. The one where you paused and thought, yeah, that's me. Was it your softness, your calm, your curiosity, your authenticity, or your growth? Drop it in the comments. Seriously, I read them. And I like seeing how different people connect to different parts. Because what stands out to you usually says a lot about where you are in life right now. And if this made you see yourself a little differently, don't rush past that feeling. Don't just scroll away like it's nothing. Sit with it. Even if it's just for a moment. Because maybe, just maybe, you've been looking at yourself the wrong way this whole time. Maybe you thought, I'm just lucky, or it's just genetics. But it's deeper than that. You didn't just stay young. You lived in a way that kept something inside you alive. And that changes everything. Because it means this wasn't random. It was you. The way you think. The way you feel. The way you move through life. And if you did it once, you can keep doing it. So, yeah, maybe you're not aging slower. Maybe you're just living differently. And the truth is, not everyone chooses that path, but you did. And that's why. There's something about you that time just can't fully touch.